What are your thoughts about people saying that coming on Vlad TV is a trap for criminals?
Mm.
You know, like, because people oftentimes, you know, they tell on themselves when they come on Vlad TV. They talk about their past crimes, and sometimes that stuff is not, what do they call it? The statute of limitation is still open there, you know?
Well, I'm careful when it comes to statute of limitations. You've never heard me talking about an open murder case, except for Keefe D. But Keefe D, before he came on Vlad TV, wrote a book about his open murder case.
Yeah.
So we spoke before the interview, and I said, "Are you willing to talk about what's in the book?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay. You have a book. It's on Amazon. It's not like some little private book. It's on Amazon. So in that case..."
You baited him on your TV show, well, your internet podcast or whatever you want to call it, and you got him to talk about incriminating information that could be used in open court. But are you willing to talk about how you take advantage of people who not media trained, being young, people from the urban community, and you ask them incriminating questions, and your show is prompted on, people actually giving, stories that'll go viral. So under the, the details of how a person would use your platform, it's almost meant for them to kind of give the juicy details, right? And you don't shy away from asking questions that'll lead them towards it. True?
And, he felt like he had immunity because of the proffer agreement and so forth. So, essentially he came in confident that he could speak about it. So I took his word for it. But other than that, you really can't name anybody who has gone on Vlad TV and then that interview from Vlad TV has then put them in prison.
So
Not that I know of.
So here's my take on that.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of people saying that, like, Vlad the police,
Right.
Vlad this, and he, you go there and...
Yeah, Booker T was the latest person to go on that rant.
Is that right?
Yeah, me and Booker T. You know about this whole story?
No.
The whole Booker T. Swerve Strickland situation?
No, that's my boy, man. What?
You want to get into it? You wanna
As
talk
long
about
as it's
it?
not bashing Booker T.
Well,
if
it's
it's bashing
not.
him, I don't want to... Oh, that's my dog.
Well, it's not bashing him, but there is some truth behind the story. I mean, I can save the story. It's cool.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't. If it's gonna bash him, I don't want to bash.
Well, it's not bashing, but there was some stuff that was said back and forth.
Yeah.
During the course of this
this
interaction.
I got it. I respect that.
Yeah, I respect Booker T as well.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the story, off camera, and you'll kind of get a better idea of what happened.
Yeah. So here's my take on people coming on the show and people saying that, they're snitching on themselves and you getting people locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a viral moment.
No, it's not. You about to say something anti-black, Republican, and sell out. Because you want to go viral and show the oppressor that you is with his narrative. So go ahead and do it.
If a motherfucker kills somebody in our community, that motherfucker deserves to get locked up. So I don't give a damn how he get locked up.
The same nigga talking about Ghetto Boys. This coming from somebody who pushed gangster rap in the 80s, one of the earliest groups, y'all. And now all of a sudden he want people to go to jail. Matter of fact, he talked the toughest out of Ghetto Boys. Yeah, he talked the toughest. So now all of a sudden he want, if somebody gets smoked, for them to go to jail. Now let me elaborate why that concept can't exist if you agree with the streets. All right, boom. Anybody that grew up in the streets understand it's up to the community to take care of that. And because the police does not police the urban community properly, they don't need to intervene because they do more harm than help. So therefore, let the streets and whoever he done did some harm to, let the streets deal with it. That's what real people from outside that was gangster rappers should say if they really condone that type of activity. When you grow up, right, and you learn that, you know what, when I was younger, I was a little bit aggressive and a little bit, I might not have been making the right choices. So my ideas on the streets and people being harmed by the streets might have changed. But guess what? These rules came to us from the old people. Mind your business. That ain't got nothing to do with you. It was a part of the economy of your community homogenously. Yes, that means inside of every group, no one tells. The Italian people that's not involved in the street do not tell on the Italian mobsters. You ain't never seen a commercial telling the Italian community to tell on nobody. I land my plane.
I don't care what show he go on and what he say to get his ass locked up. He deserves to be fucking locked up. I don't understand that. Like, you go in there, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't be disgusted by the lack of love for human life. You cannot act like you care so much about the community when you see people killing their own people.
So he's using the black on black crime to weaponize against the black community in front of an oppressor. Let me tell you how you're wrong. Every group commits crime against their own first. It's called living around your own people. And we didn't create this idea. We are well segregated while other groups live more homogenously. Every other group, which means when they commit murder, their percentage of killing their own is higher than ours. Yes, sir. More whites kill more whites. I land my plane. So that argument is dumb. All groups kill more of their own group. All groups rob more of their own group. All groups. Yeah. You want to know why? All groups live around themselves. It's called a community until the government divides it. So that argument of black on black crime is actually obsolete and a myth. Yes.
Just like they're in a video game. And then...
Who made the video games? Who made the video games? Hello?
And when somebody comes on any show, doesn't matter if it's VLAD or any show, and slips up and says something that can get them locked up for a crime that they committed against their own community, you got a problem with that?
If it's a community that's from outside your community that's causing this to happen, and it actually might cause more crime. So you want more bodies to happen and less people get locked up. So does it agitate this poor community that's already been agitated from layers on layers on layers of things that's been done intentionally? Now you're trying to claim that we have control over the violence in our community. Really? Willie D, do you care to speak about gun production? Ammunition production? What about YouTube's promotion of gun culture to the youth? Do you care to speak about these subjects? All right, let's keep it going though. I don't think you want to talk about gentrifying or redlining either, do you? All right, say less.
I don't. Lock
I know.
that motherfucker up.
Oh, you want to come on here and sound like you a black man that's really saying some real shit. You bluffing. You bluffing.
Lock his funky ass up.
Look.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Regurgitated talking points, hard stamping so old elders can believe what you saying so they can really just try to fold on the black community. No other community told on their own community in order to stop the money from being reciprocated from the underworld. Every other community took their underworld, evolved it into politics, evolved it into fame, built their community up so they could actually be sustainable. The black community, the only community that's told to halt Y'all already filled up the prisons, but before you can actually monetize this crime that y'all been, used as the face of, just like the NBA, we used as the face of it, but we aren't the ones who actually reciprocated of it. Every other community reciprocated off of what they was the face of. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up? So now we got blacks running around that's Republicans telling the black community, we need to stop the Black Underworld. It didn't never get sophisticated. Let's step on it. Let the police crush it because I'm scared, even though none of them in harm's way. None of them don't live nowhere near this. Peep game. So they want to stop this current community of poor people from using capitalism to come up. Yeah. Nobody stopped them communities from, stepping on people that was getting in the way of the moonshiners. No, them people turned moonshining into NASCAR. Yeah. Google it.
Keep on coming on Vlad. Keep on coming over here talking. Keep talking your business because Vlad ain't putting no gun to nobody's head. Vlad ain't put one gun to one person.
So media isn't a part of the actions that people take in the future after they watch media. That's what you're saying? There isn't science that proves that the media that people watch have an effect on the things they do. You just used the video game as an example of the actions that people doing in the streets. If they look like they doing stuff that's in a video game, where did they get it? So Vlad doesn't have anything to do with this. On the strength of, if you go through his platform, most of it is leaning towards violence and crime in the stories of it, in an embellishing way, showing people that actually survived it. Really? It's not glamorizing the drug culture, similar to Scarface. It's not? All right.
Head and said, all right, motherfucker, tell us everything you know, or I'm going to shoot you right here now, So, nah, I'm not with that, man. I'm not with that. I think it's hypocritical to act like you care about the community and you love the community.
Nope, I'm not going to let you sit here and base this on if you do care about you and love the community, you should allow them to self-tell on themselves. There was no podcast that tore down the Italian mafia or the Sicilian mafia or the goddamn Jewish mafia in the United States from selling drugs. There was no podcast that infiltrated it, got them people to tell on themselves before they was able to capitalize off of the money. Yes. There was no podcast doing it. No radio station. No TV network. No, it wasn't. So you going to cripple this community that still lives in the slums before they capitalize. What about all them Spanish boys up in Washington Heights? They was allowed to thrive off of that cocaine they were selling in the black community. Yeah. I ain't seen no podcast, talking about, yeah. What about the African community and all the dope they smuggling in? I don't see nobody got them up there self-telling. Yeah, they going to college, being doctors and all that, selling all the dope in the world. I don't see nobody infiltrating their community and got them talking on no podcast, getting locked up later in Ricos. Especially not their youth. So go ahead, Willie. Your turn.
But at the same time, you protect savages. You protect...
Whoa. Savages, eh? That's crazy. You once showed the depiction of savages and actually filled the whole gangster rap imagery with NWA. And you sold the image first of savagery, Willie D. Wow. The name of your group was Ghetto Boys. And you were grown men and you were called boys. So not only did you sell the image of savagery, you sold the imagery of lack of frontal lobe development, which is grown black men being boys that don't focus on politics and that won't turn into a military that will help their community. That's what you sold. And now you calling people savages? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Why did you make this so easy for me? Why do you make this so easy for me? Why did you make this so easy for me? Let me take it a step further. Is it true that you wrote lyrics for the other fake ghetto boys to make them seem more ghetto, knowing they weren't capable, but they were characters, acting? Is this true? Is this true? Including the midget? And you sold a fake story? And you took the pictures on the gurney to sell the imagery of violence? Is this true? But they savages. 40 years later. Wow, you turned your back, baby. You turned your back. That's crazy.
Uncivilized mutts who prey on our community, who prey on our women and our children, and even our men, our young boys, who prey on them.
Young boys? The young boys the same ones as the Ghetto Boys? Who prey?
And, make their lives difficult. You make it difficult to just, man, in many of our neighborhoods, just walking to the store is an adventure.
Do the people that live in the area own the land or create the environment? Do they own the gas station? Did they pave any of the roads that come through these blocks? Do they own the airport? What about the port itself? The water port? Do they own that? Did they draw the line to separate that city from the next city or the counties? Did they draw the line from the states? What about, did they own any skyscrapers? Any hospitals? Are they at the top of the police food chain? Or they Irish? You really want to talk? Or you want to come up here and do this podcast with your friend? Be careful when you talk about that black community, cuz. They ain't tell you about me.
Okay, I'll be right back. You got to hug tight because you don't know if they're coming back. See, I lived that. So.
You lived it. Right.
I'm not with that, with protecting people that bring harm to our community. You got people.
The streets don't protect people that bring harm to the community. It's none of your business. And because the police don't protect the actual urban community, they won't defend you if you stick your nose in somebody else's business. So your grandmother told you when you was a kid, when there was lack of a police presence, don't be out there talking about what other people got going on. That ain't none of your business. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We Gucci. We over here. Yeah. So that's to show you that this ain't got nothing to do with the streets. This is goddamn survival. Yes. Because your neighborhood is not policed like other neighborhoods are policed. That's why stop snitching applies. And we got things in our community that take care of things that are a little bit out of control, just like other communities. So it'll solve itself. That's not your job. We had this going on. But somehow they changed this dynamic and they got people that talk like this now. What they trying to convince you to do is tell when it's people on First 48 episodes that got smoked. So you want to be the next First 48 where they come talk to you on one episode, then they covering your murder on the next episode. And they actually got video footage of you saying that you going to get smoked if you tell. So really? That's what they promoting to the community?
People out here killing our sons, killing our daughters, and they come on a show and they say something that incriminates them. Keep talking, motherfucker.
Well, I'll say this, and I'm not going to go into the details because this is your man and so forth, but in the process of the back and forth that was happening between me and Booker T and so forth, I had brought to light there's a guy who was a registered sex offender. And I had posted a picture of him during the course of this back and forth. And the next day, news broke that he was arrested for violating his registered sex offender guidelines by not registering cars and emails and other stuff like that.
So your police network got him locked up and you trying to put out a disclaimer like you didn't get him locked up. And this was petty revenge for him challenging you about having people from the black community coming on your podcast and self-telling. So he challenged you on that, and you weaponized it by getting information and exposed homes, and then you got him locked up. Wow.
So he got locked up the next day. So if you want to say I locked people up, I locked up this registered sex offender.
Oh, that's the one you willing to tell us about, and you smiling. But you're not going to tell us the truth about how you only did that because he was challenging you on your cop exposing the black community and taking advantage of people who not media trained. And what about the fact of not you actually exploiting young people who not familiar with media training, right? Now, we're not even going to talk about that. What about you pulling people up to rehash out beef that was already dead? Like two old people that was in R&B groups and two old comedians and stuff like this, or interviewing people that have no clout just so you can get the gossip from them. Like, you know, rappers who beef with other rappers, but we didn't know who they was until they came up on your podcast and spoke about it. Or what about a rapper who happened to shoot another rapper, but we ain't know who he was? You understand? See, it's other elements. You feel me? It's not just the fact that you allow people to self-tell on themselves knowing that they're not privy to the way it could be used against them. And you privy to this. And now you try to defend it by throwing out the lame idea of, well, they didn't have to. Now you want to go a step further and say you actually, you know, try to defend them by giving us examples of, you know, well, this happened and this happened. Keefy D decided to tell on me. He put it in the book. Nah, bro, it was a lot of different elements. Nobody wasn't worried about what you asked Keefy D. We talking about a pattern you've been repeating over years where your whole style of questioning is police-y. So if you give us one example where someone chose to give you information and they went down for it, let's talk about the times where, you know, someone got on your podcast, you asked them something incriminated and it alluded to a crime that opened up a goddamn investigation that didn't necessarily use your podcast, but the questioning opened the door for them to look. Come on, you know the truth. Why you acting naive right now?
I'll stand on that.
Right.
You know, not from an interview, from a post that I did that started to go viral, and then all the, you know, Yahoo and Sports Illustrated started picking up and so forth. But yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I'll stand behind that.
Yeah. I don't think most people going to have a problem with that because
I don't think so
because
either.
I think we want to know where they are. We want to know who lives next. We want to know if we got a sex offender or
This ain't got nothing to do with sex offenders. None of them dudes up there from the streets. How, you see the spin? So they try to spin it to now we want to know. We want people to tell on the sex of that ain't what this was about. We talking about young black people that got opportunity in the entertainment world. And instead of interviewing them about what they're popular for, you interview them and get incriminating information that could be used against them later on for the view in the clickbaitable titles. So, I mean, essentially, we could be wrapping up a conspiracy, to be honest, because the ultimate goal is to vilify the young black male, just like he did when he came out by being in a group called Ghetto Boys, if he really didn't feel like this was a thing he should be promoting. So if you promoted it then, why you not cool with it now? It's just acting. I land my plane.